Hi. I'm here looking at the persimmon tree. This is just outside my house. These are the little persimmons. These are just a little native persimmon. They don't get much bigger than they are now, maybe a little bit bigger, but they will ripen in the next few months. And if I can get to them before the birds get to them, they're just delicious. My pond is usually here. We're walking on what is normally underwater. That's how this drought is right now. That greenery there is generally like a little island. Those grow much taller. The same with the lotuses over here. They are actually out of the water now because of this drought. And I have fish in here, and as this pond shrinks, the competition for food, for just air, is diminished because of, well, lower, a lot less water. This is several feet down. I would say about 3 to 4 feet down. And it won't go dry because it's spring fed. There is underground water here. There always has been. This is known as a tickle tongue. It's also called a Hercules club or a prickly ash. You'll see it's covered in little thorns all the way on the branches, all the way to the ends. And if you chew on these leaves, or you chew on the bark, or you chew on any part of this tree, the root, it will numb your mouth. It has a natural anesthetic. Now, I don't know if we'll see any fruits right now, but yeah, I see a few here. The birds love these, and they really are delicious. These are just precious, and they taste wonderful. This tree right here, this larger tree here, is generally covered in fruit, and the birds have taken it all, but it is a type of pear tree, a native pear. And again, quite delicious, but birds love them. These woods are dark and creepy. There are wild animals here. I don't know if there are any that eat straw. Mostly lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. I love walking through here. I always have. But you'll see I've got my T-posts scattered all around here. Hopefully I'll get this done. It's just too hot right now. The heat is just too much right now, and so I haven't had the opportunity to complete this. Okay, you'll see some leaves. Let me see. Let me zoom in a bit here. That tree right there, you see those leaves, those kind of yellow leaves going up the tree? That's poison ivy. That's a rather large one there. And this tree right here is a mulberry. And I have a few smaller ones in here. I have some larger ones back in those woods. But these are fruiting mulberries. And again, it's me competing with the birds. I have collected some already, and I have some frozen, and I have some in jellies and jams. They're just delicious. There we go. These are known as turkey tail. They're a bracket fungus, and they grow on dead and dying trees, which is what this is here. And there are people who actually do consume these. I don't. I don't feel knowledgeable enough to eat any fungus that I find on my property. And I've actually had knowledgeable people who I really do trust telling me that, oh, Patrick, that's a very safe and delicious mushroom to eat. Well, it's not that I don't trust them. It's just my life is the only one I have. And I prefer to live it not in agonizing pain, if possible. So why risk it? It's not that big. There are certainly other risks that I'm willing to take. I'd love to go jump out of a plane or go on a hot air balloon and do other things that might be detrimental to my health. But at least those are fun. Eating a wild mushroom doesn't rate up there very high for me. Phew, like a rocket. So Barney and I were walking. It's gone kind of wild in here since then. I haven't been over here in a while, but see where those grasses are? Which is an unusual anomaly, I will give you that. But Barney and I were walking over here, and suddenly he picks up something, a bone, and which didn't mean anything to me because there are deer have died and years ago, or 50 years ago someone had cattle in these areas, and maybe a cow died. That's not unusual, believe me, in the country. Coyotes carry your goats away sometimes. It doesn't happen to me too much, but I've heard it happen. And so you'll find bones. But we were right here in this grassy area. Why this stays green, I can't tell you. It's one of the few areas on the property right now that is still green. But that being said, at the time these two little cedars weren't here. But we were walking through here, and of course he ran into this green area here and was just jumping around, frolicking, and then suddenly came out with a bone. And I said, Barney, what is that bone? And I looked at it, and it was really long, like a human bone. It just looked, something about it was suspicious to me, and I walked over and looked, and sure enough, there was another bone sticking out of the ground. So I called the sheriff's office, and I said, look, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, any kind of a doctor, but my dog has found some bones on my property, and I don't think they're animal. And they came here, and sure enough, there were 3 bodies buried here. The tests were done. They were well over 100 years old, and they believe a family had lived here at one time. Well, you'll see that this is kind of a raised area here, and then there's a drop off here down to like this creek, this dry creek now. And they believe what had happened is this was a family burial plot here, and that over time, as rains had come through here, and the rains come through here, they flow because the pond is over there, and when it overflows, and when we get a lot of rain, which hasn't happened in a while, it will wash through here down to these natural ravines and then drain off the land. Anyway, so over time it has washed away soil here, and it exposed the bodies. I was fascinated. I was just waiting to find out because, of course, when they find bones, there's obviously, the first thing they think is a recent murder or something along those lines. But it was easy to tell by looking at the bones that were exposed that they had been here a long, long time. It wasn't a current thing. And so I was so happy once they did the testing and proved that these bones were well over 100 years old. What is it, Barry? Barry, leave it alone. Whatever it is, Barry, come on. So Barry and I hope you enjoyed walking with us today. We enjoyed having you. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Say bye, Barry. Barry's not saying anything.